Welcome to my video. Today we're making brown butter buttermilk pancakes. In this bowl, we have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour and 1/4 cup of cornmeal. Next, we want to prepare 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, not baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now make sure to add all your salt in. I know that I didn't get it on camera, but I made sure to add the full teaspoon off camera. And stir that up and get ready for your wet ingredients. Now in a separate bowl, we're going to prepare our wet ingredients. I've set 3 cups of buttermilk aside just because I may need more at the end. And this recipe is very forgiving, so please feel free to adjust the cornmeal, omit it completely if you'd like. Now this brown butter is anywhere between 6 to 8 tablespoons. I did use 8 and I let it cool. So you don't want to add the super hot brown butter right off the stove. Let that get to room temp. It will still be melted, as you can see. And then we have our eggs separated. I don't mind getting egg whites in the yolk, but we definitely don't want to get the yolk in the whites. So whip those up because we're going to add those separately. Now everything is incorporated, and like I said, we will adjust the amount of buttermilk, but this recipe is very forgiving and you will use anywhere between 2 1/2 cups of buttermilk to 3 cups of buttermilk. Now add your vanilla, and you could add anywhere between 1/2 teaspoon to more. I use 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and this is also where you can add your spices. I used to love adding cinnamon. Actually, I still love adding cinnamon, nutmeg, pumpkin spice. You can even add your different purees here if you like. And I did want to add more to the batter. And like I said, this will be very forgiving. So even if you needed to add more of the batter once you see how it adjusts with the dry mix, feel free to do that. Incorporate that and set everything aside. Now make this well in the middle and add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients. And just to let you know, all the flour and everything was sifted for this recipe. So we are going to incorporate everything and whisk it together. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Now you will see that it will be a thicker batter, and that is when you can adjust accordingly. And like we said, anywhere between 2 1/2 cups to 3 cups of buttermilk. And you do eventually want to set that whisk aside and grab your spatula. Make sure to get the bottom of the bowl. And as you can see, I definitely needed more of that buttermilk. And it's okay that everything's separated. Trust me, it will come all together with this recipe. And we're going to get ready to add the egg whites separately. And one thing about the egg whites being added separately is that they give an additional lift. So they will act as a leavener, even though they're not whipped. So we will add that in just to see how our batter is, to see if we will need more liquid or not. So mix, 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 get that all together. Make sure, as I mentioned, to get any flour that might be at the bottom. You don't need to make sure to beat out every single pocket of flour, but we do want to make sure that all the flour pockets are covered with liquid. So you don't have to make sure that this batter is smooth. It doesn't have to be very, very smooth. And as you can see, I am beating this batter up. So you can be rough, and like I said, this batter is very, very forgiving. And that's how it'll look. Pour it in. I like to use olive oil and butter. Flip those 3 minutes each side. And you are good to go. Thank you for watching.